Is brand love hard to build? Especially when you're growing fast and opening stores across communities nationwide. That was a challenge given to Harvey Ong in 2016. He was brought in to help grow Alfamart Philippines under the SM Group. Coming from industries where brands were already well established, Harvey initially thought the job would be straightforward. But it was his first time in retail, and he quickly realized neighborhood retail works differently. Customers don't simply buy products, they build habits, they build trust. And Harvey believed that for Alfamart to grow, the brand had to connect with customers on a personal level.
In the context of neighborhood retail, I think it's really showing up. We have a tagline, always here for you. And that commitment, that purpose manifested itself during the peak of COVID. You know, we were one of the few brands that did not close a single store, not even temporarily. Kahit luging-lugi na yung tindahan, the most we did was we cut our operating hours because we did not want to abandon the communities during the time that they needed us most. So for me, there's tagline, there are slogans, but at the end of the day, does that dictate your actions? And for me, that's the best way of showing brand love, is to be with your customers, not just during the good times, but in the bad times as well.
So Harvey encouraged teams to observe carefully how customers move, what they pick up, why they come back. Sometimes small adjustments made a big difference.
If there's something sacred about me, it's my Fridays. Friday is the day that I escape the office and I do random store visits. I try to visit anywhere from like 8 to 12 stores as much as possible. And in this very small environment, it's not like, you know, in a supermarket where you could approach a shopper, but here in a neighborhood setup, you can just walk to your customer and talk to them. So that's how I keep in touch with our customer. I talk to them personally when I go on my store visits.
But Harvey believes brand love doesn't begin with customers. It begins with employees. In a small format store, one engaged frontliner can define the entire experience. Every Friday, he visits stores. He talks to store managers, chats with cashiers, observes quietly. Then he asks himself, how do I stay connected to thousands? So he created a dedicated internal social media account.
Well, we got in the game quite late. I think we started having our social media presence around just 8 years ago. When you look at the format we play in, majority of the people that we serve belong to the Gen Z and the millennials. So social media is very, very important. I myself am a believer of social media, but I use my social media not to connect with the shoppers. I use my social media actually to connect with my employees. So every time I do my store visits and I think they did a good job, I make it a point to take a photo of my team, take down their names, and use that to really promote them in my social media.
There, he recognizes employees by name, shares good practices, and celebrates small wins. Because when employees feel valued, they take better care of customers. And when customers feel that care, they return.
You know, when I joined this industry, I knew nothing about retail. I was a marketeer through and through. And one of the things I learned about marketing is the importance of brand love. When I moved to retail, I realized it's not just about developing brand love among shoppers, which is a given. More than ever, retail is a people business. So you can't have your frontliners showing pagmamalasakit kung wala tayong pagmamalasakit sa sarili nating brand. And so that was the thing that I discovered more than anything, the importance of employee engagement.
As expansion accelerated from a small base to more than 2,000 stores nationwide, consistency became essential. Through regular guidance and mentorship from Mr. Herbert C., Harvey sharpened his retail instincts, looking deeper into merchandise, detail, and discipline.
Herbert C. is the longest serving boss I've had, the chance to work with. I remember the first day I saw him, my first day of work after our meeting, he gave me this tip. He said, remember in retail, there's no such thing as a perfect day. And it's true. There's so many headaches in retail. And so what that taught me is, yes, you try to fix all of them, but you have to embrace them. It's really part of the game. Another time we went to Indonesia together and we did some store visits. And wow, this guy would go aisle to aisle. We talked about attention to detail. And Mr. C, the master merchandiser that he is, he would really scrutinize every product, really trying to look for products that are not yet in the Philippines that he could work with suppliers to develop. So he has a very keen eye for the Philippine market. But last but not the least, he doesn't talk about this all the time, but Mr. C is very, very loyal to his people. He wouldn't go out and brag it. He doesn't have a social media. But behind the scene, Mr. C is the guy who always has your back. And I think that's very, very important in retail. If you ask people to do 110% for you, then you have to be sure you have a boss who will be there to fight for you.
If you ask Harvey what leadership really means, he'll tell you it starts with service. A leader is there to support, standing by your people when decisions are difficult, having the courage to protect the team, and the humility to listen.
What I've learned, Rico, all these years observing the leaders that I admire, there are two qualities that's important for me as a leader. First of all, it's a mindset thing. There are two types of leaders. There are leaders who aspire to be leaders because they want to be served. And there are leaders who want to be leaders because they want to serve. So I think the first and foremost is the leader service-oriented, right? Because if they just want to be served, they just want the power, the glory, and the fame that goes with it, they will never be good leaders. The second quality that's very important for me is courage. Because when you become a leader, you have to make unpopular choices that's right for the company. You need to have the courage to do these things. You need to have the courage to speak your mind, even at times opposing the point of view of the people above you, right? At the end of the day, they will still ask you to do what they want to be done, but you still need to have the courage to share an opposing point of view, because that's what leadership is all about. And lastly, courage is about fighting for your people, right? Service and courage are the two things I look for in our next generation of Alfamart leaders.
And that's why Alfamart's expansion worked. Not just because stores multiplied, it's because pagmamalasakit came from the top. When leaders care, teams align. When teams align, customers feel it. And when customers feel it, they come back. This is SM in Focus, Stories of Success. I'm Rico Hizon.
Rico, summer na. Actually, hindi ko lang ba't ka naka-jacket. Ang init-init sa labas. Pero alam mo, may perfect drink
for the interview.
Perfect drink ako para sa'yo. Okay?
Ano yun?
Are you interested?
I'm very interested
Sige.
to quench my thirst.
Great. The first thing we'll do, kuha tayo ng Easy Ice Cup.
Easy Ice Cup.
Guess how much?
10 pesos lang.
Of course.
Grabe, mura.
Sa Alfamart, sulit lahat. So,
Oo.
this is your Easy
Wow,
Ice Cup.
lamig.
My Easy Ice Cup.
Woo.
Rico, mahilig ka ba sa ice cream?
Siyempre.
Ito yung paborito kong ice cream which goes perfectly with this drink. What
Wow.
flavor do you want, Rico?
Ako, melon.
Sige,
Melon.
pareho tayo. Alam ko,
pareho
gusto mo
na.
to dahil tagalasal ka eh.
Oo,
Kaya
green na green.
Alright. To create this wonderful drink, maraming soda water sa Alfamart, but this is the one that I recommend.
Yan.
It's the SM Bonus Soda Water. Quality na, sulit pa.
Magkano naman ito?
This one is just 25 pesos. Believe it or
25
not,
pesos.
for a soda water.
My God, a summer drink.
Sige. So,
Namura.
one last ingredient.
One last. Ano
We
yun?
need Yakult.
Ako, makukumpleto ng ating favorite summer drink.
Kaya alam mo, itong gagawin natin, hindi lang masarap, hindi lang sulit, healthy pa. So,
Ready na ako.
kung natin gawin,
Okay.
remove the lid,
Alright.
get your ice cream, saksak natin sa
Saksak
loob.
natin sa loob.
Yun. Bubuksan natin ang ating soda water. Halfway.
Exciting, RV.
Ano, ready ka na ba?
Oh, our first time.
But
First time.
wait. There's more.
Oh,
Yung Yakult. Huwag natin
Yakult.
kalimutan. Okay.
Yakult. Wow.
Matalsik-talsik pa.
Masarap ito. Masarap.
Thank you for dropping by Alfamart.
Maraming salamat,
Enjoy
Harvey.
your summer drink, Rico.
Halika.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yakult,
Yakult.
with lactobacilli shirota strain.
Good for your gut.
Gut.
Yan.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Hindi ka naman conscious sa weight mo, no?
Hindi. Oo. Lagi naman ako
Minsan na naman eh.
Oo, lagi ako nag-exercise.
Oo.
Oo,
Alam
badminton, pickleball, tennis, table tennis, basketball, football.
Mahilig ba sa ice cream?
Sir, kuha ka din, sir. Dapat dalawa.
Dalawa